An 8-year-old girl's simple question silenced a crowded town hall and left Elon Musk sharing a deeply personal story about faith, loss, and redemption. What happened next moved everyone to tears. The community center in Austin, Texas, buzzed softly with the sound of folding chairs scraping against the polished floor and murmured conversations. The space, usually reserved for local gatherings and book club meetings, had taken on an unusual air that evening. At the front of the room stood Elon Musk, his unmistakable presence filling the modest hall. His casual demeanor, signature hand gestures, and confident posture were familiar to everyone. But tonight, he was uncharacteristically subdued, sensing the gravity of the event. The audience was a mix of families, retirees, and curious locals eager to hear what he had to say. Among them was an 8-year-old girl named Lily. Dressed in her best Sunday dress, she clutched an old leather-bound Bible tightly against her chest, a treasure passed down from her late grandmother. Her mother, seated beside her, had whispered before they arrived, "You can ask him, but only if you're brave enough, and only if you truly mean it." Lily had nodded, her heart pounding. She had been rehearsing her question for weeks, scribbling it out in her notebook during recess and whispering it to herself before bed. It wasn't a question born from childish curiosity, it was something that weighed on her soul. As the evening progressed, Musk spoke about technology, innovation, and the future of space exploration. The crowd occasionally clapped or nodded in agreement, but the energy was different from his usual tech conferences. Lily waited, her small hands gripping the edges of her Bible tighter with each passing minute. Finally, the floor opened for questions. A line quickly formed, adults stepping forward to ask about Tesla, Mars colonization, and the latest AI developments. Lily hesitated, shrinking into her seat, but when her mother gave her a subtle nudge, she knew it was her moment. Her legs felt wobbly as she stood, her heart thundering so loudly she was sure everyone could hear it. The line seemed endless, but as she inched forward, the room's chatter began to fade. People noticed her, the small girl with the oversized Bible clutched to her chest. Whispers rippled through the crowd. When her turn came, Musk looked down at her, his expression momentarily softening. "And what's your question, young lady?" he asked, his voice surprisingly gentle. Lily swallowed hard, gripping her Bible so tightly her knuckles turned white. Then, with a voice that trembled but refused to break, she asked, "Mr. Musk, what does God mean to you?" The room fell into an immediate silence. Eyes darted between the girl and Musk, the weight of her question pressing down like a tangible force. For a man known for his rapid-fire responses and sharp wit, Musk didn't answer right away. Instead, he looked at her, then at the Bible in her hands, and something in his demeanor shifted. The air in the room thickened with expectation, drawing everyone to the edge of their seats. Musk, a man who had built his career on logic, innovation, and science, now found himself at a crossroads between intellect and something far more personal. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, he exhaled and spoke. "That's a big question," he began, his voice lower than usual. "And it's not one I've always had the answer to." The admission surprised many. Musk was known for his confidence, his unwavering belief in data and science. But tonight, in front of a small girl with unwavering eyes, he was admitting uncertainty. "When I was your age," he continued, "I had a lot of questions about the universe. My parents encouraged me to read, to explore, to seek answers. I remember lying awake at night, staring at the stars, wondering if there was something, or someone, beyond what we could see." He paused, glancing at the audience. "I studied physics, engineering, and artificial intelligence, trying to understand how everything works. And the more I learned, the more I realized how little we actually know. Lily's grip on her Bible loosened slightly. She was listening intently, her young mind absorbing every word. I used to think that faith and science couldn't exist together, Musk admitted, that they were opposites. But the older I got, the more I realized that maybe, just maybe, they're two sides of the same coin. Maybe the universe is too perfectly designed for it all to be random. Maybe the fact that we ask these questions at all means something. The room remained captivated. This wasn't a rehearsed speech or a polished presentation. This was raw, real, and deeply personal. I won't say I have all the answers, Musk continued, but I do know this. There are moments in life when you feel something bigger than yourself. Moments when things align in a way you can't explain. Moments when you feel guided. And in those moments, I choose to believe. Lily's eyes shimmered under the fluorescent lights. Tears welled up, but she didn't look away. "My grandma used to say that too," she whispered. "She said God is always listening, even when you don't hear him." Musk's expression flickered with something unspoken, a mix of admiration and understanding. "Your grandma sounds like a very wise woman." He turned back to the crowd. This little girl just asked a question that most adults are too afraid to ask. What does God mean to us? It's not an easy question, because it forces us to look inward. It makes us face our doubts, our fears, and our flaws. The audience was silent, hanging on every word. I used to think success, intelligence, and technology would answer everything, Musk admitted. But I've come to learn that the most important questions in life aren't about Mars, AI, or electric cars. They're about who we are, why we're here, and what we believe in when no one else is looking. He turned back to Lily. "Thank you for reminding me of that." The room erupted into applause, but Lily didn't seem to notice. Her tears had stopped, replaced by a look of quiet pride. She wiped her cheeks with the sleeve of her dress and looked up at her mother, who smiled at her with glistening eyes. As the applause subsided, Musk leaned in one last time. "So tonight, I'll leave you with this. Ask yourselves what faith means to you. Don't be afraid of the answer, no matter how uncertain it might be. Because faith isn't about knowing. It's about believing." The applause swelled again, but this time it was different. It wasn't just for Musk. It was for Lily, for the moment, for the question that had changed everything. As the hall slowly emptied, Lily turned to her mother. "Grandma would have been proud, wouldn't she?" Her mother smiled, eyes filled with emotion. "She would have been more than proud, sweetheart. She would have been amazed." And with that, the story of faith, curiosity, and one little girl's courage came to an end. But the impact of her question would linger far beyond that night.